morning class. Myself Pallavi Anand. Again I am standing in front of you with my third part of the video. And the chapter which we are going to discuss today is food. The first chapter of your science book. I am going to take class for class 7 science, first chapter food, and this is the third part of our chapter, third part of our video. Today's topic which we are going to discuss is the other mode of nutrition in our plants. Other modes of nutrition in our plant. Before this topic we already have discussed what are the food, what are the nutrition, what are the modes of nutrition, autotrophic, heterotrophic, photosynthesis, factor affecting photosynthesis, synthesis of foods other than protein, carbohydrate. These all topics we already have discussed before. So today we are going to discuss the other modes of nutrition. Can you remember, say me, what are the heterotrophic mode of nutrients? Yes, the heterotrophic modes of nutrition are the type of nutrition which depend on the autotrophs or the green plants for their food. According to their habit, they are categorized into the different parts. Heterotrophic mode of nutrients are divided into the different parts. These are saprophytic nutrition, parasitic nutrition, insectivorous nutrition and symbiotic nutrition. What are the types of heterotrophic nutrition? These are saprophytic nutrition, parasitic nutrition, insectivorous nutrition and symbiotic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition is also termed as holozoic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition is also termed as holozoic nutrition, which derive their food from green plants or autotrophs and nourish their body. They depend on the autotroph for their growth and development. So, the different parts of holozoic are saprophytic, which we are going to discuss for the first. That is saprophytic nutrition. Saprophytic nutrition are the type of organism or the type of nutrition in which plants, saprophytic plants depend on dead and decaying organic matter for their food. Saprophytic nutrition are the type of nutrition which depend on dead and decaying organic matter. Depend on dead and decaying organic matter. Dead and decaying organic matter. Example is mushroom. You have seen mushrooms growing on the rotten wood or rotten stalk. You also have seen bread. Keep bread at your home. If you will keep bread for 2 or 3 days in a warm places, you will find out some greenish color fungus available there. Have you ever seen? Just try it once. Take a bread and keep it in a moist place. You will find there some greenish type of fungus available after 2 or 3 days. That is the best example of saprophytic nutrition. How saprophytic nutrition derive their food from the dead and decaying organic matter? Saprophytic plants, what they do, they secrete some digestive juice in the matter and make the matter soluble form, make the matter in a form of solution. And then these saprophytic plants absorb that nutrition and use as their nourishment. Second topic we are going to discuss is a parasitic nutrition. Parasitic nutrition are the modes of nutrition that derive their food from the green plant. Parasitic nutrition, parasitic plants depend on the host body. They live on the body of their host. They stay at their body. They observe the nourishment from the green plants. You have seen many armorvale, many castor, many mestol. These type of plants are the example of parasitic nutrition. Parasitic nutrition are the nutrition which live on a green plant and absorb nutrition from the green plant. They live on the body of the plants or body of the green plants or animal. Parasitic organism organism and draw nutrition from there. Now, I can give you a funny example. Have you seen the buffaloes? Hopefully you have seen the body insects present on their body. All the animals, the insects are available there. These are the parasitics. These are the parasites. They live on the host body and absorb the nutrition, absorb the food from the body of the host, animals or plants. Parasitic organism, parasitic nutrition are of two types, totally parasite and partially parasite. It is very clear from the word totally parasite and partially parasite. Totally parasites are depend fully upon the host body for their food and for their nourishment. Totally parasitic nutrition depend fully on the host body for their growth and nourishment. But partial parasitic, you can say parasitic nutrition divided into two, total and partial. Fully depend on the host body for their growth, for their food, for their nourishment, for their reproduction. But the partial parasitic plants depend only for water and minerals. The partial parasitic plants depend only for water and minerals. Examples: Cascata and Mistolti are the examples of total and partial parasitic respectively. Next topic we are going to discuss is insectivorous organism. Insectivorous nutrition, insectivorous plants. Have you ever heard this? Insectivorous are the type of nutrition in which plants make their food with the help of insectivorous plants, make their food with the help of photosynthesis, but they depend for the nitrogenous food. On the small insects. They can prepare their food, they are green in color, they contain chlorophyll and they can perform the photosynthesis and make their food. But they cannot observe or they cannot get the nitrogenous food. So for their nitrogenous, to meet the requirement of their nitrogenous food, they depend upon the insects. They depend upon the small insects for their food. Now, best example of insectivorous nutrition is a pitcher plant. Best example is a pitcher plant. See how pitcher plants observe or pitcher trap the insect. The leaf of an insectivorous organism is formed in a pitcher. Ghada, you have seen ghada? Yes. The leaf of the pitcher plant modified in the form of pitcher. And here a leaf is also there. Cap. Here is a pitcher and here is a cap. And the pitcher is covered with a hair-like structure. In the pitcher there are so many hair-like structures present. As the insects come here, they sleep down. They sleep down and be trapped by the hair, and the lid is closed. And the lid above the pitcher is closed. As the insect come, they slip down and trapped in the hair inside the pitcher, and the lid are closed and the lid are closed. So how? And here they secrete these pitchers secrete digestive juice and digest the insects. Once again, please. This is a pitcher-like plant. This is a pitcher-like structure they are having in their leaf with a lid, with a cap at above. As the insect come, they sleep down. Insects sleep down and get trapped here. And digestive juice are secreted by the pitcher, and this insect is digested. As soon as the insect falls inside, the lid closes. As soon as the insect falls have understood that insectivorous is clear now. The next topic which we are going to discuss is a symbiotic. The next we are going to discuss is symbiotic nutrition. Symbiotic nutrition are the type of nutrition in which two type of plants, two type of organism live together to help each other, live together for their mutual benefit. Two organisms living together for their mutual benefit. These are known as symbionts, and the modes of nutrition in symbionts are the symbiotics. The modes of nutrition in symbionts are symbiotic. The two organisms living together for their mutual benefits are the symbiotics. So, the best example for symbiotic is the lichens. The best example for symbiotics are lichen. Plants live for their mutual relationship. Both the plants, algae and fungus. In lichens, algae and fungus, we can say lichens are made up of algae and fungus, where algae is a autotrophs and fungus is a saprophytes. Algae are the autotrophs and fungus are saprophytes. They live together and mutually benefit each other. Autotrophs and saprophytes, two organisms living together and mutually beneficial for each other. How? Algae as having a chlorophyll perform, being autotrophic in nature, algae perform photosynthesis and prepare food, but fungus, a non-green plant, cannot prepare their food, and they are saprophytic in nature. They derive food from the dead and decaying organic matter. Fungus supply water and minerals, and algae prepare food. Clear? Fungus supply water and minerals, and algae prepare food. They both live together. They bring water and mineral for the plant, and algae perform food, and both are getting nourished by it. Living together, being in a mutual relationship and helping each other for their growth and nourishment. Hopefully, all the modes of nutrition you have understood yet. The next topic which we are going to discuss now is how nutrients replenish in the soil. As you know that if we are growing a soil, if you are growing a plants in the same soil year after year, again and again, the quality of the soil become poorer and poorer day by day. If suppose you have a pot at your house, you are having a flowering plant. From last 10 years you are growing in the same pot, same soil is being used. The nourishment, the quality of the soil, the crop yield, the byproducts, the flower quality of flower is becoming poorer and poorer day by day. So, how we can replenish that? How we can make up that soil? How we can add nourishment to that soil? By using manure. You are using manure for growing crops? Yes, you are using manures, fertilizers we are using for nourishment of the soil. We also use a method of crop rotation. What are the process we are using for the nourishment of soil? For the replenishment of the soil? Manure, fertilizers, and by crop rotation. Nitrogen required to make protein. Now, you also have heard that plants require many things for their growth and nourishment, and these are the things available in a soil. What are the things? Potassium, minerals, calcium, phosphorus, potassium, etc. are available in a soil for the growth and nourishment of the plant. Zinc, iron, etc. are also available in a soil in a small amount for the growth and development of plants. But these things are getting lesser and lesser day by day because of growing of a plant in a the same soil day after day. So to nourish it, to make up that fertility of the soil, we use these methods by adding manure, fertilizers, crop rotation and several things. Crop rotations means using of two type of crops, cereals and leguminous. Crop rotation using of two type of crops, cereals and legume plants alternately. 1 year we are having the cereal plants, second year we are having the leguminous plant, and the fertility of the soil remain balanced by using crop rotation. Now, plants require protein. Plants also require protein for their growth, and soil also require protein for giving nourishment to the plant. And so many nitrogens required to make the protein. Nitrogens required to protein, and the process of making protein by the nitrogen is very complex. By very complex process, the plants and the soil go to make protein by nitrogen. You have learned about the leguminous plants in your previous classes. Leguminous plants, gram, all the pulses we are having, these are the leguminous plants. The root of the leguminous plant contain molds, nodules type something. The root of the leguminous plants contain nodules. These nodules having rhizobium bacteria in it. The root of the leguminous plant contain nodules, and these nodules have rhizobium bacteria in it. They convert atmospheric nitrogen into the nitrates. The rhizobium bacteria present in the root nodules of the leguminous plant convert atmospheric nitrogen into the nitrates, and these nitrates are in the form of soluble form in a soluble salt and being absorbed by the plant for their growth and nourishment, and to meet the requirement of their protein, nitrogenous requirement, and to maintain the fertility of soil. This is how the soil replenish their fertility. This is how soil maintain their fertility, and the production and the crop production are in a high yield. If these processes are not being held, if we will not take care of our soil, the crop production will be loosen up. The crop production will be losing year after year. So we use manure, fertilizers, crop rotation, etc. for the replenishment of the nourishment, for the growth and development of our plant, for the better growth of our crops. This is the last. We are ending up our chapter. So hopefully you have understood. Just go through the worksheets and question answer. Thank you so very much.